Well, welcome, welcome. We're live on Easter for Easter sanding. I know that sounds really ridiculous, but whatever. Okay, let's transition out of this. Hopefully, you guys get something out of my videos. And got a sound check. Hopefully, we're okay. Transition, there we go. How about a sound check? We got noise over there. Let's see here. Okay. Now we keep. I don't understand. 3 pop in and 1 jams out. Sound and picture good. Thank you. Good. All right. So what we're doing today. Why can't I get that? There we are. Right. Move this and this. Okay. Let's see. I got this, and I got this, and I got all my sanding tools ready to go. These are just a few of the tools I'll use today. We'll explore more in a minute, but the flat blocks. Those are the flat blocks. The polywogs of different shapes. Like I say, I got more coming because I seem to have misplaced some. And what I did this morning is I shot a little bit of primer on this as a guide coat because we're not priming this airplane. I only primed those spots as a guide coat. So I think the first thing I want to do, I saw that I had a couple of little spots right here. I want to get the aqua green on it so it'll start drying. So remember, when you're using this aqua green, use it very sparingly. I mean, like, it's ridiculous. So a little bit on here. This green 05096 is for minute imperfections. We want to sand all that off, or yeah, at least 99% of it. Dries super fast. It's lacquer, I think. Must have a lot of xylene in it. Got that good smell I like. I had some other spots, maybe on the tip. I could have swore I saw one on the tip. Of course, I won't know until I start painting. And when I start painting, it'll stand out. But what I want to get to is why the guide coat for primer. If you look right here, we're going to take this tape off here. We could possibly get to the canopy install today, depending whether I get this cleaned up or not. Yeah, I know it doesn't follow the line perfectly, but don't matter because it all gets painted anyway. Let's see here. I'll get my chair because we're going to settle in for a long day of sanding. So if you want to see sanding, today's the day. Now, during the course of the day, I'll leave the camera run, but may step away from the camera to go outside and spray a little primer or something because I want to get this finished today. Okay, in this fillet area, I have a couple of areas to address. If you look right there, that line, there's a line that's above the fillet. That has to be sanded out. It has to be blended in. Otherwise, it'll stick out like a sore thumb and you'll be crying, or I'll be crying when I get appearance judged. So we use one of my harder soft blocks, mini block here. This is foam, but it is pretty stout. You notice I'm not running it back and forth this way. The line runs this way. I got to blend that line in so it's up and down. And you see how pronounced it became? Let me see if I can get a little closer. That line has to disappear. Now remember, we can do it one of two ways. We can add or subtract, and I'm of the subtract model. So all this primer needs to come back off. It was only as a guide. And here's a spot up here that these lines here that you see, those are lows. And the unfortunate thing with this type of paint is that it shows every mistake. Not like car paint or urethane. It has to be 100% perfect. And you can spend thousands of hours making it perfect. I also have a spot up here in this turnout that's in this turnout right here that's not good. But I knew that yesterday when I went into this. And there's a spot here. On the primer, if the paper loads up, just wipe it out. That is the one nice thing about the 3M open coat paper. It cleans or unloads real easy. So we're back. Remember when I glued the sandpaper to my finger yesterday trying to get this spot? Well, I got to get that spot still. Almost. 5 and 5. That's a good sign. Once this gets done, this is 320. Once I get all the buggers out, I'll sand the whole airplane with 500. And that'll be this week. I'll get that all sanded out with 500. And then it's a coat of white and then color sanded with 1,000 or 1,500, and then we can lay the graphics. Yesterday, I don't know. Everybody thinks because I'm old, I'm an easy mark. Yesterday, I was kind of attacked twice on 2 different sites. I'm clicking on links. I ain't clicking on no link. If you guys send me a link, you're wasting your breath. Not unless I know you. Of course, both of the sites involve credit cards, and I ain't putting my credit card in for nothing. I will initiate the contact. So you guys that are my age, don't get scammed. Don't click on links. Don't put your credit card in for shit unless you searched it out. I don't know why this is like that. Got a little spot right there. I'm gonna have to dig it out, I think. It must be fiberglass. It's gonna be painted just like my Continental, red, white, and blue Art Shaw paint job. Blue leading edge, red and white stripes, my nose art, checkerboards on the bottom. I think what I'm going to do there, we'll try it this way first. There seems to be an issue with a little spot right there, and I don't know what it is. So we're going to try the first method, and if it doesn't work, I'll dig it out. Little CA on my finger. Rub that in. It'll be painted just like that. Yeah, I'm even going to do gold leaf on this one again. I have because I'm pressed for time. How about this one? Because I'm pressed for time and I want to get this done by the end of this month so that there's a possibility I could fly it at the Nats this year. I'm not going to have time to do gold leaf lettering. So what I'll do is I'll cut my stencils on my plotter. I'll paint the letters black. I'll use the sizing on a brush after the airplane is done and size the gold leaf letter in 1/8 of an inch less than the stencil. and then lay the leaf and I'll engine turn it. Then when I peel the tape off or whatever, it'll have an 1/8 inch black border because the letters were black to start with, and I won't have to line it. Then I'll shoot a coat of clear on just over the gold leaf and sand it out. So, but that'll happen after the gnats. I won't have gold leaf letters on it at the gnats. I don't see there's enough time. I've added all these doodads and I think we're going to need a little aqua green over the top of that too. And I hate doing that in that valley, but in order to get that out, but I gotta do it to get it out. Maybe I gotta take my watch off. This is Mr. Sparky, no Mr. but not necessary. Let's see. How do you manage to build so fast? I don't build any faster than anybody else. I just put in more time. There's a certain sequence to do things. I know that sequence. 58 years I've been building these things. When I was a kid working in the hobby shop, I built 2 or 3 a month. Of course, they weren't of this quality, but now back to this line. My buddy Rob Gow is the guy who really got me involved in scratch building. He was a Canadian, lived in the United States. Cool guy. Come on, get off there. There we go. There's a big scratch there. I think we'll aqua green that too. Dug a hole. Okay, it's worse off than I thought. I'm gonna have to use a little aqua green along that line. It's probably I don't know. That scratch there is probably 2 thousandths deep. I'm not going to be able to sand that out, so I'll just float it in. $70 ounces. When this thing gets to 58, I'm going to stop painting. Okay, so let's aqua green that. Really need a couple of blades open here, I think. Look at the trash can. Okay, how can I get that off? And we'll just use this. We'll just take the putty to it. It's in the details. This is always the toughest part of the model. It's a whole lot harder to finish than they are to build. You want a good finish. Way more time consuming. So now when I sand that, let me turn it down here. When I sand that, I will expect to see a green line on there instead of a gray line. After it's smoothed out. Now you'll notice that I'm putting this aqua green on, but I'm not getting it down into the crack, into the fillet. The dope thinner is so strong that if you do that, it will lift. So I'm going to use a little bit on my finger here, and we're going to, that spot that I CA'd and tried to sand up, I'm going to try to fill that in. Get it wiped off. That's good. Okay, where's the paper towels? Over there. Yeah, patriotic. It's about the end of it. We're in trouble. Okay, let's move on to another area. I guess we can work on the tail. Gotta wait for that to dry. Man, I really want to get... Yeah, that don't look good. It's gonna need another coat there. Shit. There ain't enough filler on that. Okay. Yeah, shit. I tried to warn everybody. I don't think there was any stopping it though. Remember, I'm just using this primer as a guide coat so I can see the buggers. When I get all these buggers fixed, all the primer will come back off. There ain't a whole lot on here. It's a couple of spritzes. That line there is not good. You know what? I'm going to spray a little bit of primer right there. If they can smoke pot and stink the place up, I can spray a little primer and stink the place up. Hell with them. Damn neighbors. Some days you walk out my front door, it smells like somebody stepped on a skunk right out the door. Smell like they got peed on. I wonder if they know that's ruining their last brain cell. They don't have any to rub together, so. Of course, I don't know this. all the paint fumes that I breathe are gluing my last two brain cells together. Okay, if you look right there, remember how I keep telling you can't see that carbon patch? Oh yeah, it is. You can't see this, you can't see the carbon patch up here and back there. I just been blocking it and sanding it every coat. And when white goes on there, it will disappear. So now I need my, I didn't see that one. I don't have it here. Oh well, I don't have one. Shoot, not here, but I got one coming. Let's do this angle here. Get the cords out of the way. Raise it up. And if you want a light airplane, it's all about getting this primer off, getting all the green putty off, sanding all the dope down to the lows. Only using 1 quart of paint. Don't load up. Just because you got a gallon doesn't mean you got to use a gallon. I've been there though. I'm guilty. I did it till I figured it out. It usually take about 3 sand outs to get done, these fillets. And I was going to try to do it without using the primer as a guide coat, but it's just so much easier to do it this way. My God, you better get it all off. That blended in nicely. That blended in nicely. So I need a piece of paper here. Okay. There was a guy on there yesterday, tough enough. He builds tanks and boats and crap. I thought he was a young guy. He's an old English guy, probably gonna be my age. Hopefully, he learned something. So here we're gonna go with the polywog again. We're gonna use the diamond shape. The diamond shape is like so. Oh. And put it on here like this. I call them polywogs. The technical term on Amazon is sanding grip. And you put the paper on like that. And you dig into the fillet like so. About $10. You can get there 3 or 4 different places that got them, but I got mine from Eastwood the first time. But seeing as I have an Amazon account, Amazon will be here this week. I ordered them from them. Remember, paint job's never complete. It's only abandoned. How close do you want to get it? I'll guarantee you that if I sanded this until I thought it was perfect and I painted it, I'd find 100 more mistakes. Fix those mistakes and then paint it again and think I got it perfect. There'll be another. Pro painters, you know, like Kozmowski and them, get $100 says I can walk up to it and find a flaw somewhere. It's good enough for who it's for, right? I need another piece of paper here. I gotta get rid of these. I got my red Dr. Pepper shirt on and a red Dr. Pepper hat. But when you see me this summer, I got a white Dr. Pepper hat with a red logo and a white shirt with a red logo. It looks exactly like my airplane. So I'll be suited up just like in the Ice Cream Man days. I don't know how many of you guys remember that, but I even partaked in the white pants. I just going to try to fly it this week. I think if the wind is down on Tuesday. I had a spot here I got cleaned up today, so that's good. Of course, I'd have fixed it with a stripe. As long as I don't have to do it, it's great. I've been trying to get a piece of single paper in my hand for 10 minutes. 8 and 8, like, subscribe, and share. When you subscribe, hit that bell and choose all notifications. That way you're alerted when I come on and start sanding. Because sanding is where it's at. This is 99% of the paint job right here. Anybody can shoot paint. Not everybody can sand. Now, people ask me all the time, do I do plans? Do I draw? No. I envision what I want. I know the numbers in my head, and I just lay it out and build it. There's no need for me to waste that time drawing pictures. I mean, can I draw? Hell yeah, I can draw. Can I do blueprints? Yeah, I can do that as long as it ain't CAD. And I bought that. I bought a couple CAD programs. Holy moly! Like I said in a video the other day, there ain't enough time left in my life to learn all these programs. So I got four times to do this. This side, that side, flip it over, and then work on the fuselage. Okay. Remember all the lines that when I put the different wood grains together to keep this from warping? They're done. They're gone. They're disappeared. Japanese tissue is amazing. Be nice if it lost weight today, but I don't think it will. I think it's going to pick up a little bit because I'm shooting all this primer. Better stop there. I think I'm burning the paper. Don't want to burn the paper. So I put that back on so I don't lose it. I still have to Japanese tissue these today. You can't feel that plywood inset there, so that's good. So that'll be the under the tissue. All the shaping is done on these. Oh, got a little bugger there. Might want to. And we'll wait till after it's done. We'll do aqua green after it's done. And the guy, Tough Enough, said that his engine weighs more than my airplane. No, I use tautening dope. The last coat that I put on the top, the top coat, has been the non-tautening because it's crystal clear. When I called Randolph and asked why they put the yellow tint in their dope, and they gave me some stupid, and I do mean stupid, explanation about so you could see where you're painting it. Well, if you can't see where you're painting it, buddy, your eyes ain't open. Good morning, Walt. Are you the Walt Burnell from St. Louis? Okay. Remember, I put the aqua green on over here. Maybe it's not ready to go yet. I don't know. So, as far as tissue goes today, I got to do top and bottom of the stab, top and bottom of the flaps. Yeah, we'll be lucky to make it to paint by next weekend. Be extremely lucky. It might be a couple weeks out. What's holding me back on what has held me back on this airplane is I wanted to document 99% of it on tape. This is a 1 hour a day build. I don't know when it started. You got to go back and look at the Continental XL start. I have a category set up on the channel for the Continental XL, and I need to put all these later videos into that. I just haven't moved them over. But when you see the first one, that's when the first piece of wood was cut. And I think it's been about 6 months. And I should have started it sooner if I was only going to do an hour a day. Yeah. But see, hadn't planned on flying this at the Nats. I already have a Nats airplane. I got my Dr. Pepper airplane. But I just love this airplane so much. You are... No, I'm just... Oh, you're in charge of his videos. Uh-huh. I'll have to go over there and look at the channel. See if you're the guys that I know. Do you know me personally? Well, you want to order, you know what, I bet I got a color chart down here. Tell Eric Sparky sent you. Or Stunt Hanger. Let me look here and see if I got my color chart there. This is mail. And it ain't in that. It ain't in that. Look over here. Maybe in here, my important papers. Yep, I got it right here. Oh, you're up in Canada. Okay, great. Okay, when you make an order with Wix, you want to talk to a kid named Eric. And please tell him that Stunt Hanger sent you over. The white that I use is Q-1050. That's insignia white. The 916, the Randolph white, is kind of off white. It's insignia white is white, bright white. They don't mix any special colors, so don't think about getting any special colors. They mix these. So if you're good with a color wheel, you can make your own hue. Never order by name alone. Never. Because they will screw it up. You got to order by part number. So if you want the part number, you can send me a message and I'll give you the part number, unless you have a chart. And what I would suggest when you put an order together is ask for a chart. They'll send it to you. This is a 2004 card. And let's see, if there's no match, here, I'll give you the Randolph direct phone number. These samples match colors currently made on Randolph tinting machines. Colors fade and change over time on aircraft. So if you're trying to match a seasoned color for a repair, hold this card up to your paint and check the match before you order the paint. If there is no match, call Randolph at 1-800-362-3490. And maybe you can get a custom color made. Well, I'm sure you can, because they do Brodak dope. But don't order Brodak dope. It's got some kind of, I don't know, it's got a stink agent in it, and it doesn't work as good as Randolph. I'm a loyal character. You know, I like Brodak. We needed Brodak. Brodak is great. But I'm not sponsored by Brodak, and I'm not sponsored by Wix, and I'm not sponsored by Randolph. I'm not sponsored by anybody. So I'm going to give you my opinion of exactly what works. Just like I'm not sponsored by 3M. I don't have any sponsors, period. 3M products work the best. The sandpaper is the best. If I thought Harbor Freight sandpaper was the best, I'd tell you Harbor Freight sandpaper was the best. But it ain't, so I won't. 3M, Randolph. I wish that, you know, like the DC 540, I told you guys about that. It was the best. Doesn't matter who made it, you know, where you get it from or whatever, it was the best. So I use all Snap-on tools. Why? Because they're the best. You only want to buy it once, buy Snap-on. I hope that makes sense. I make no money for selling any product to anybody. I just relate it on to you guys so that there's nothing more frustrating to be working along, have a tool break, or have the primer not work, or gum up, or they're a problem. So why not just start out with the right stuff? And it took me a lot of years to find the right stuff. So that's why I pass it on to you. Here again, using my hands and not my eyes. And I can feel that that's not even close. That's going to take a lot of doctoring. Damn. So keep sanding. What's really bad is I painted this area white yesterday, figuring that I could go ahead and put the canopy on. It's got a dent right there and a dent right there. I can't live with that. I'm gonna have to get those out. So then I'm gonna have to paint it with my Grex. Because I'm not over John's. If I was at home in my shop, I could make the deadline. But seeing as that I'm in the closet, there's no way. That reminds me, I gotta put my entry in, because last date entry without a $50 penalty, which is BS, is May 1st. Starting to drag, I can feel it. Not quite dry. Starting to drag. Let's see here. Yeah, I think Dr. Pepper should sponsor me too. I've drank more Okay. When I was a drinker, I gave up drinking 30 years ago. In June 11th, 1991 was my last day to drink Budweiser. I had stock in Budweiser 1 can at a time. And now I've switched over to Dr. Pepper, and I buy them 24 packs at a time. They should sponsor me. If I was still drinking, it'd be a Budweiser plane instead of a... And here's one for you. You guys can believe this or not. If it was a Budweiser airplane, it'd be easier for me to get sponsored, because I know Augie Bush. You know how I know Augie Bush? I built his motorcycle. I had a bubblegum machine in my front room given to me by the Bush family. Of course, Bill Hill, my buddy, he passed away. He ran a top alcohol car. He was the only other guy sponsored in drag racing besides Kenny Bernstein. And that's how I met Augie Bush, through Bill. But if you look up Bill Hill Racing, you'll see, Bill Hill Top Alcohol, you'll see his Pro Mod. I think it was what the hell kind of body? It was a square body, I don't know, something or other. Then he went to Corvette. Chevelle, I think it was. It's a shame. He died of brain cancer. I think he was only like 50-something. When I worked at Harley Davidson, I had him bring his Pro Mod down there. We had an event. Matter of fact, the heck? Eddie Money was there. And I had him bring down the Pro Mod and start it up and kind of putted around the parking lot. Everybody loved that. I guess Eddie Money's dead too. Here's one for you. Butch Patrick. You know who that is? Butch Patrick, Eddie Munster. Goes across the street of my house. Yeah. Yeah, it's no different than when I was younger, a lot younger, working at Palm Canyon Glass, drinking my lunch at the Gene Autry Hotel, knowing Gene Autry. People wouldn't even know who the hell that is anymore. Get that old man a drink. Hey, he's the richest man in California. Well, who the hell is he? He's a singing cowboy. What songs does he sing? The best story, though, is when John Majors, you guys know him as Lee. Yeah. Lee Majors came into the bar, and my dad gave him a drink, and he just stood back with his hands at his side, and he didn't pay for it. This is back when beer was $1.50 for a bottle. And he walked down to the end of the bar. He said to my mom, he said, "Dorothy, that guy won't pay for his drink." She goes, "Well, don't you know who he is?" He goes, "Got no clue. Who is he?" "He's the $6 million man." He and Farrah Fawcett were there. "He's the $6 million man." He said, "Well, great. Then $1.50 ain't going to break him." And he went down there and got the money. Hey, happy Easter, Walt. Pretty funny. Pretty funny. I had a Fall Guy jacket that I got from Lee Majors, and I sold it to a guy in Japan for $300. A real Fall Guy jacket from the movie. I should have kept it. But I needed the $300 more. Another thing I had is, as a kid, my mom wouldn't let me play. I had these Walt Disney wooden soldiers. They were about that tall. They're British soldiers with a red coat, white stripe across the front, and blue pants. I even had the, oh, you have a Harley question. Okay, shoot. I sold them for a Harley oil tank. Let's see if I can answer Jet Screamer's Harley question. I like these questions. Yeah, I'm gonna have to float another. Still got that spot there. Got to remember now, I don't have my books here. You have a 97 glide. What should the oil pressure be at idle? Well, a 97 glide is a gear-driven oil pump. And as long as the rockers aren't rattling, I mean, I've seen the oil pressure as low as 3 pounds at idle. And then when you rev it up, it go up to 40. As long as the rockers aren't rattling, it'll be all right. But if your oil pressure is way down, it's time to rebuild the oil pump. And normally it's not a rebuild, it's a replace the body. You can't up the pressure by, there's a spring at the top. You have to have a special screwdriver. It has a rounded, like a quarter at the bottom. And I got one, and I don't remember the name of it, but you put that screwdriver in there, there's a spring. And pull out that spring and take a magnet and pull out the ball bearing and look at it. And it might be pitted. So what you can do is buy 2 balls, put one down in there, and then drop another one on top of it, and then take a drift and take a brass hammer and whack it, and that'll reseat the ball in the bottom of the oil pump. And then pull out the extra ball bearing and then put the spring back in, and that'll up your oil pressure. I forgot about that old hack, but good luck. That comes from back in the day when we had to be machinists as well as mechanics. Yeah, it's the long one on the pump. It's the one that sticks up the highest, that has a spring in it. So you take that screw off, but make sure that you don't screw up the screw, because like I said, it takes an oddball screwdriver with a rounded end. So you might have to grind a screwdriver. It's a big, wide, almost 3/4 of an inch across screw, and you round the end to get it down in there. I used a drag link socket that I bought from Snap-on and ground it to fit. Anyway, get that off, pull that up, pull that spring out, and do that trick, and that'll up the oil pressure. Yeah, I had to do an online Harley Davidson class. I bet I could charge for that. But things that I'm out of motorcycle, I don't know. I think the reason I'm out is because bikers are the biggest crybabies you ever see. I got to ride. Okay. You broke your toy, go play with something else. I'll do it as fast as I can. You know, back in the day, especially the shovelhead days, you better be a mechanic. And if you owned an Ironhead Sportster, you better bring a truckload of parts. There were boat anchors, fishing equipment. I didn't even care if you had a K model Sportster. They were junk. The later ones, the Evos, they weren't too bad. I mean, mostly they get abused because they don't have enough power, especially the 883. So that's why the guys punch them out to 1200, and instead of changing the heads so they could get the advantage of the bigger CCs, they use the reverse dome pistons to lower the compression. That is crap. So if you want performance, you better open up the heads, CC the heads, and get the bigger valves. Ron's porting service in Winter, is it Whitehaven? Winter Haven? No. Wentzville. There we go. Wentzville. Ron's porting service in Wentzville. The best Harley head guy. There's only one performance pipe that works on Harley Davidson. Drag pipes are crap. Hooker headers are crap. All that stuff is crap. You got to get a thunder header. That's the only thing that works. Vance and Hines. Oh, good job. And you can take that from my gazillion runs on the dyno. Different pipes. And you guys who like the 50s style fishtails, that's a killer. That'll put 30. Your bike won't make 100 horsepower, it'll make 30. Yeah. They don't, I mean, I don't know. I don't know whether I'll ever go back to work at Harley. I'm old. Time to retire again. You put 10 Harley mechanics together, the later ones, they don't know what I know. And I don't know it all. Kevin Haney knows it all, but I don't know it all. I came in at the end of the panhead days. Let me see here. I got my briefcase here. I don't have my books here, but I do have this here, I think. Yep. I don't use metallics because they're heavy. So no, I don't use metallics. Here, I'll blot out my name. PhD, Master Service Technology. That was when they first started the program. And I got 2 books filled with it. V-Rod. I went to Harman Kardon School. Advanced Sound Systems, Powertrain, Chassis, Digital Electronics, Engine Management, Engine Diagnostics. All I got to do, if I want a job for Harley, all I got to do is show that passport, and bam, portfolio or whatever you call a damn thing. But that one's pretty old because I had way more than 7 years in. It's 7 years in that program. So we need a little more acro here. This big guy came back to my bench one time. I mean, he was huge. He was a invader. And the back the backdoorsmen were a local club, and the invaders were out of Indiana, and they had been talking about a merger, where they were going to patch over or whatever. And I said to him, I hear you guys are going to patch over the backdoorsmen. What are you guys going to be, the backdoor invaders? Pretty comical. My buddy says, man, you're ballsy. What's he going to do to me? What's he going to do to me? I get along with everybody. I wonder if I had to fix that too. Let's see, I need that block there. This block here is more stout. Yeah. That should do it on that one, except for right there. That's a problem spot. Why am I having a problem with that? I guess I just a couple coats of primer. Let's try that. Right there, little spot, just gonna drive me nuts, and that spot there will stand out like crazy. Back in the 80s when I was painting with lacquer, I painted this guy's motorcycle it was candy apple blue. Oh, no problem. It was candy apple blue with yellow flames. It had about 40 coats of clear on it. It was thick paint. Beautiful paint job. The guy had to have it right now. He wanted it right now. I said, oh, but take the damn thing. He took it home and set it on the carpet, and the paint wasn't dry, and that thick lacquer, it got, the weight from the tank got onto the carpet, and it peeled up the shag, and on the bottom it had shag on it. I said, well, wasn't ready, was it? Had to have it right now. Okay, take the damn thing. Okay, I think that'll fix that, and this might go away. Yeah, you can ask me a Harley question anytime you want. Don't matter. I know some stuff about them. And if you don't believe what I said about the ball bearing trick, ask your local Harley mechanic if he thinks that's a good idea. If he says no, he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. He's a kid. He's a kid. If he says no. Now, I'm not saying that'll up the pressure. I'm saying that will help because the oil pump could be worn out. And if it's worn out, it needs a body. So you just take that one off and get a new one. Because I don't remember. I don't think they sell oversized gears. They couldn't sell oversized gears because the pins couldn't move. In '99, when they switched over to the twin cam and they went to the gerotor oil pump, that is so far superior. You can't believe it. They'll run 100 pounds of pressure with hardly any effort. But if you ain't hearing lifter noise, I wouldn't worry about it. That's another thing that goes wrong with those Evos is the passageways get clogged up to the lifter blocks. And don't try to repair that yourself. I mean, I can do it, but it's a tedious process. Okay, let's work on the other side. We'll see how this looks. That one's about ready for another coat of primer on that side. $100,000 miles. Yeah, motor's probably worn out. Time for a resizing. Guaranteed the top end's worn out. You take the top end off, grab the two rods at the same time and lift up on them. If you can feel any play, it's time to take the crank apart, do some bearing fitment and put some oversized rollers in it, get it honed and sized. Should have zero play up and down on the rods. Bearing fitment has to be exact on that. Let's see, 97 they had so what you do, well, unless you have a truing stand, you're going to have that done by the shop. I mean, I can true them within half thousandths, but that's an art. There was a big black guy at Harley Davidson. Big black guy. I mean, he was huge. He had the arms the size of my legs. And he was the crank guy. I'm talking about the factory now. I'm not talking about the dealership. And he used to straighten cranks with a bowling pin. True cranks with a bowling pin. I got a brass hammer for it, but he did it with a bowling pin. Whack! He was good. He could do it in a couple of swats. Chopper, he was the club president. He was always tinkering in he passed away. He was always tinkering in his garage. And the spec on a crankshaft is 1/2 thousandths. 0.0005. I think that's right. Yeah, it's 1/2 thousandths anyway. So he got his crank within 5 thousandths and wondered why it vibrated. He took it back apart and I crewed it for him. But of course that ain't as bad as the Red Shovelhead with and I got a No-Show Joe. He's dead now too. There's another reason why I kind of got away from motorcycles. All my friends are dead. Anyway, Chopper worked on Rev's motorcycle, and they sent him a set of heads that didn't have the valve seats cut. So Chopper tulipped the valves. He took the valves on a grinder by hand. Oh no, he had it in a drill. See, how did it work? And he put the valve in a drill press and took a file to them, and he tulipped the valves so they fit into the seat. No seat cut, so you got a square seat and a 45 angle on the valve like that. You wouldn't think that'd work. Well, it did work. But his motorcycle, Rev's motorcycle, sounded like a calliope. It went boop, 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 boop. So I'm in Arizona at a school. I can't remember. And I was telling the class about this true story. And they said, there ain't no way that's working. Well, Chopper, he was the club president. I wasn't going to call Chopper and tell him that. So I called No-Show Joe in front of the class on speakerphone. And I said, hey, Joe, what sound does Rev's bike make as it goes down the road? He said, boop, 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 boop. And the whole class busted out laughing. They couldn't believe me. But that's a true story, too. I have seen some backyard shit. The best one was Chopper. Chopper came from the shovelhead days. Actually, the panhead days, but he got himself a new twin cam motorcycle and a dresser. And he said, well, I don't need all these wires. So he took the hood off, the fairing. And he started cutting these wires. Well, you got bank angle sensor in there, and you got throttle position sensor wires, and, it was a fuel injected bike. So he calls me up and said, man, I can't get this bike started. I said, well, what's the problem? He said, well, I took the fairing off, and I cut out some of the wires out of the harness, and I figured maybe one or two. I get over there, and all these wires, he got this thing spaghettied out. All these wires are gone. I said, Chopper, this thing ain't going to run. We're going to have to rewire it. He said, what are you talking about? The bank angle sensor ain't connected. The PSSM is not connected. Oh, well, we got it fixed. Backyard shit. Too bad he's dead. He was a nice guy. Bone is dead. Gypsy's gone. I don't think there's many of us left. Well, I hope you guys enjoy these stories. They're something that I did when I was younger. And we're back down to black there again on the carbon. My Uncle Jerry. Oh, there's that spot I was thinking of. My Uncle Jerry got me involved in this. He worked at Laidlaw's Harley Davidson. So not only did he get me involved in model airplanes, he also got me involved in motorcycles. My first motorcycle was a 4245 with a Triumph transmission, because at that time Harleys were 3 speeds for that particular bike, and I wanted a 4-speed, so we put that puppy together. And then we made it a Magnum 45. And for you guys who don't know what those are, that's a 45 flathead lower end with a with a iron head top end. Still junk. It was junk. Everybody pissed and moaned about AMF, but if it wasn't for AMF, Harley Davidson wouldn't be in existence. The shop that I worked in, the owner is the designer of Fab Bowling Ball. We had a bowling alley in our showroom. Fab Bowling Ball, and designed the Brunswick pin setter. So he was well off. He owned property in the infield at Daytona. I mean, you gotta have mega bucks. I wish the hell I'd have had mega bucks. I had mini bucks. Just a dumb old biker. Airplane building biker. Oh no shit. Yeah, Ironhead Sportsters were so good. Ironhead Sportsters were so good that a kid came back to my bench. There was some type of electrical problem. They had this is pre-electronic relay. They had a Delco voltage regulator on it. Said, "Hey, I need my Sportster fixed. I got a ride." Okay, great. Drop it off. We'll take it apart and fix it. No, don't take it apart. Just fix it. Okay, whatever. Yeah, they were great. We had this one guy come in who said he was an experienced rider. Well, Kevin used to go over all the controls and operation of the motorcycle and everything in the service bay, and the service bay was in this angle, and right across the street was the bowling ball. Yeah, Fab Ball was a A Widman design. Earl Widman is the guy who designed Fab Bowling Ball, and they were made right across the street where we stored our motorcycles after Fab went out of business, or he sold it, or whatever he did. I don't know. They moved the factory. Anyhow, so this guy comes in and he said, "Oh, no problem. I've been riding for ever since I was a kid. I know exactly what I'm doing." Kevin said, "Okay, great, whatever." He went rum, 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 boom. He dropped the hammer and it jumped. It kind of wheelied out of the shop and went straight across the street and jammed into the fender well of this pickup truck. That bike sat in our shop for 10 years. He was embarrassed to come back and get it. I think Ronnie ended up getting a title on it and selling it or something. I don't know. Brand new, just bought it. Hadn't even been a mile. Rum, 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 bam! Knuckleheads. I've been riding for years. Okay, knock yourself out. I think we've about got this top side pretty well sanded out where I can give it another coat of primer and see where we stand. Except for that, this fillet here and the other side. So we'll do that, and then I'll spit a little bit on it and see if we got it fixed. Does it say St. Louis on it, Christopher? Made on Broadway, North Broadway. Everything I tell you is the truth. I don't need to lie. Over those days. Well, that was made right across the street from where I worked when the factory was open. And Earl Widman owned it. And there was a whole lot more money made on bowling balls than there was on motorcycles. Okay, so now I got that line there on that one too. Shoot, it's going to be another nightmare. Oh, got to move the microphone. A little spot right there. That's gonna take some acro, or maybe I can get it with a file. Let's see here. Get my woman's file out. All right, have a good one, Jet Screamer. So we got the lady's fingernail file going here. Yeah, it looks pretty good. It's in the details. When I walk up to your airplane and I see, all the air, the even fits on everything, the bonus points go up, as far as I'm concerned. But they're judging appearance at the Nats in hand. It's supposed to be from 10 foot away. But you gotta go with the flow. There's a low right there. Shit. Man. We'll get this side done and then move to the other side. Right now outside it's way too cold for me to be out there to fly. My cold days are over. If it ain't 70 and 5 mile an hour, I don't want to mess with it. Back when I was younger, 30 years ago, I'd go out when it was freezing. When it was snowing, it didn't matter. We'd fly in the snow if necessary. You can see that line came back right there. Not good. Man, it's hard to believe 30 years coming up, no alcohol, no nothing, not even aspirin. I was an instant asshole, just add alcohol. You need a little acro right there in that edge. Shit. 7 and 11. I got 7 guys still watching. How many guys been on since the start? None? This is not exciting. I don't have a dancing girls or you. All right, Chris, great. I don't have any dancing girls. I don't have any music. Just sandpaper and goofy stories. Now, people say, how can you get a nice finish when you sand all the primer off? Well, you got to sand all the primer off or it'll have all the weight. So the only primer that's left is in the lows. Look at that big pile of dust there. It's all weight you're carrying around for no reason. And like I say, I'm only using the primer as a block, a guide coat. That's the difference between a car paint job and a model airplane paint job is how much material you can leave on. Of course, you can leave it all on, but you won't like it. Okay, let's turn it around. I got this side here to do. So we need this softer one here. It's a little and softer. Oh, that's 180. Don't want that. Just as a suggestion to you guys who are going to order dope here in the next week, I would order as much as you can afford because the prices are getting ready to double. I'll guarantee it. Let me see I'm going to go on here real quick and see what they're getting for a gallon of clear. I think $58 is what I paid last time. Yeah, I better order some. Let me look here. Let's see. Aircraft. There we go. Highland. Dope. Painting, paint, hardware, metal, tools, power, rubber, plywood, composites, and finishing materials. There we are. Dope. aircraft fillers, fiberglass, sticky stuff, fiberglass. Come on. Dope, dope, dope. Page 2. Must be on probably 2 or 3. Dope. How much dope? 3. Oh, come on. Randolph. BOLPH. Randolph paint. Acid proof. Ah, there we go. Let's see, butyrate. 1870 to 302.96. View the detail. Yep, 1 gallon, $58. Better order a couple of those. 5 gallons is 302. So let's order 2 of those. And we'll add that to the cart. And what I use for, let me see if I can bring this in here. What I use, I can't do that. I don't want to show you my credit card. So let's see here. We need to, I added that to the cart. Clear butyrate. I want to get 1 quart or 1 gallon of non-tautening butyrate dope. View details. We get one. That's $56. So that's 1 of those. Add to the cart. And let's get a couple gallons of thinner. Unless I can get a good deal on 5 gallon. Randolph thinner. THINNER, enter. Randolph thinner, butyrate thinner reducer, 16 to 231. So 5 gallons is $231. View detail. One quart, 1 gallon. Add that to the. Okay. Calculate shipping. United States. We'll have this sent to Ohio. Trotwood. This is where they get you, the shipping. That's not bad. It's only $161.40. We can do that. Uh-oh, what's this? No, $196.48. Well, I guess I better do that because it's going to get, in the next month or 2, it's going to get so you can't afford it. You're going to wish for the days of cheap stuff here shortly. That came out good. There we go. We got her now. We're in there. Perfect. Perfect. That's what I like. That's what I like. Whoa, almost fell off. Almost fell down. So now it's just to sand out here, and then I'll step outside for just a second and shoot a little spritz on it. I don't think I'm going to take that up because it has a spot right there and a spot right there that need fixed. So we'll just shoot some primer on it and fix them. Matter of fact, John knew what I would do. I said, well, we'll see what happens. He said, yeah, you'll fix them. Nobody'd see them except me. Can't have that. Yep, that's after Earl sold the company, I guess. Earl designed the Brunswick pin setter. He had a patent on that, and they sold that to Brunswick. At least I wasn't there, but that's what I was told. Fab bowling ball. Now, on a model like this, not only is the nose important, but these fillets are important, and they got to be perfect. There's no maybe close. It's got to be perfect. Yeah. So it'll take another. Tribute to Tom Warden. He worked for Testers. And man, he used to get the best wood. I had the best wood. You boys back there putting fingernails in the wood? No, sir. Yeah, we were, though. That's going to take another coat of primer. I'll be digging that in. I'll be digging that in if I. Earl's been dead about, I don't know, 25 years, maybe 30. No, about 30. Okay, so what do I want to do here? Oh, I want to aqua green those 3 spots. Well, aqua green those, sand them, prime them. So if I'm gonna Fortunately, I brought the white thing. I mean, I could get the canopy on today, maybe. Depending on how hard I want to work. Most of this tube aqua green gets left on the palette, which is good. So we got a spot here. Good. We got a spot there on the dashboard. We got a spot here behind the cockpit. Yeah. Wait for it to dry and sand it off. Why monkey with it? Been on 2 hours, 3 minutes. That's a pretty decent run. I still haven't fixed that flap. Almost want to just make a new one. Almost want to make a new one. I think we're probably gonna just another screw up. A little here. You guys are wondering what I'm talking about on the flap. I sanded that flap and it has a hole in it. And what I mean by a hole, and not many people's eyes would pick it up, but it's got a dip in where I sanded it wrong. Let me see if I can find my. Let me give an eyeball estimation how low it is. I'd say it's a 32nd, maybe a 64th low. And you can't sand that out. It's already missing. How could you sand it down? Let me show you what I'm talking about. To most people, it would not matter. Let's see if we can catch it this way. No, right here. Oh, that's why we're looking at the wrong side. Right here, there's a low spot in that flap. And if you run a straight edge across there, I can't get that in there. But probably a piece of paper go in there. Let's try a piece of plywood maybe. '64th plywood. Here we go. Okay, let's see. If it's a '64th, I won't mess with it. Oh, wrong side. Is it? No, right side. Less than a '64th. I'm not going to mess with it. But my eye caught it. I mean, well, I don't cover a wing that's already glued in. You should cover it first. But if you're going to do that, It's already glued to the fuse. How do you cut the covering to follow the wing and fuseline? Well, you want to start at the fuseline. You know, if you're going to cover a wing that's already been mounted, the wing's already in, I would put the tissue up against the fuselage, maybe a 1/16 of an inch away from the fuselage, and pull it out towards the end and then finish it off. You don't want to go from this way in, you want to go from this way out. And then dope it down. After you get it doped, then you put your fillets in, and that'll seal that up. But always try to cover your wing before you put it in the fuselage. A couple of reasons. First, it's easier. Second, it offers integral strength. So I don't do it all in one piece. I go from here past the center of the wing, on this side, and then when I do the other side, I go from here to past the center of wing on this side. So you have double covering in the center. So not only do you have your compression spar, you also have the tissue doubled up in the center. Now, some of the guys like Wendy and Big Jim Greenaway, they put fiberglass and all this other carbon and shit in the middle. No need for that. So try to cover and it's just a lot easier to work on when you got this sitting on the bench instead of trying to fiddle fart around with a fuselage, and it's a nightmare. Make it go a lot faster. Well, like I say, start at the center and work out to the end. Start on the bottom, so you got a little test area. That way, if it screws up, you can just go, oh, shoot. Well, how do you like my next control line airplane? These are the lightest pieces left over. But we're going to build an RC airplane on this channel here. I just can't do the Dauntless. It's just, oh God, it's way too big. It's humongous. Let me go get the plans. I'll show you. I'll be right back. I mean, you won't believe the size of this thing. I don't even think I could roll the plans out. Okay. Let's do it right here on top of this airplane. I got 2 sheets of plans that are 10 foot long each. I don't have a bench big enough to build this stupid thing on. I'm not even sure I can get them rolled back up once I get them unrolled. I can't even get them all the way unrolled. Half the wing is from here. You can't even see. Gotta back up some more. Half the wing is from here to here. I mean, there's just no way. It's this wide. 84. The cord on this thing is what? And that's just the wing. I mean, I know I had a yardstick here. Where did it go? I got a tape measure. You got to use tape measures to build this, not yardsticks. The cord on this is 15.5 inches. Let's see, the stabilizer is really not too bad. It's 30 inches on the stab. I guess I could probably build this in here. It's just huge. Fuselage is 8.5 inches around. It's just a big mama. Super big mama. Rib 1, R1 is 16 inches. Yeah, that's a big sailplane. But did you build it in your bathroom? That's what I'm doing here. I'm working in the bathroom. This room is only 12 by 12 by 12, 144. It might be, this room may be 120 square foot. 12 times 12. Yeah, 144. Maybe it may be 150 square feet, the whole place. 12 foot across, it's 12 foot from there to here, 12. It's 12 by the kitchen. I'd say this is 12 by 13, the living space. 12 by 13, and then you got the bathroom. It ain't very big. The whole place here is smaller than my workshop at home. Half the size. Let's see here. I'd like to build it, you know. It's not beyond my capability. It's just so damn huge. Micro mold up brackets. I don't know. We might go ahead and build this. I'll be giving it away. Let's see if they got the scale right on this thing. That's the scale, 1 inch. Look. Aha, I think they scaled it wrong. Maybe. Nope, it's right on the money. It's right. Damn. Well, what do you think? Should I give her a whirl? I mean, it's huge. +2 degrees built in. Cut to suit tank. The bomb drop. Got all the formers. 2 off. 3/16. I got plenty of RC wood to build this puppy. 3/16. Man, how come so damn heavy? Why not 1/8 inch? I just use whatever I want. Longerons. Scrap take sheet. Render a fairing from 16 sheet glued to formers. Micromold engine mount. 2 degrees down thrust. Build a cowl in 2 halves, F1. 1/4 inch ply. And yeah, we'll build this one. It's only 977 square inches, and it calls for an 80 to power it. So I got it. I got a Sato 80 to power it with. That was so generously given by one of the viewers. Brand new in the box. I was going to run it in a Bearcat, but I'll use the 72 in the Bearcat. So let's roll it up and get rid of it. The Dauntless is on. Complete. Oh, you got 3/32 sheeting. I'll have to make molds for this, and this will be a complicated build. It'll take a year to build this. Put all my belongings out in the parking lot, yeah. Well, fortunately, it's a take apart. You take the wing off, stand it up in the corner. If the ceiling's tall enough. Got Fowler flaps on it. We might have a problem with that. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. going to the swap meet here in the next month. Maybe I'll get the recracks for it and some other crap. I got a radio and a receiver. I don't have enough servos, but those are cheap. Mind you, I know nothing about flying RC. T-Bone, we had a guy built a 14-foot wingspan control line plane in his 8-foot wide basement. He built it out of his cellar window. Oh yeah. Almost like my grandfather building a boat in the attic and had to cut the wall down or whatever to get it out. Whatever it takes. Okay. I think, yeah, these are ready to sand. We'll sand these, and then I'm gonna step outside real quick and shoot a little bit of primer. Then we'll be back for another sanding. Trust me, this is the most boring video going because all it is sanding. But this gives the insight into what it takes to build a competitive model. Tom, I'm using your Crest primer. You see that little dot right there? Maybe not. See that little dot right there? That's why I did all that. I got one back here. There's a little dot right there now. So now I got to get this off. It's all about sanding. Might as well get that perfect since I'm going this far. Ridiculous. This all gets paint with acrylic inside here. But just because it's under the canopy and just because you won't be able to see it doesn't mean it doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm going to wipe it down with Windex. Try to get all the sanding dust off of it, which won't happen, but we'll do it. Try it anyway. Then I'm going to grab this and step outside and shoot a quick coat of primer in 4 spots. And I'll be back and we'll see if we made any progress, see if it looks any better. I mean, like I say, it usually takes about 3 times to get it perfect. You don't get it right, you know. I can't get it right the first time or the second time, but usually by the 3rd time, it's pretty close. I'm getting hungry. Might have to have a sandwich here. Matter of fact, that's what we'll do. We'll break for lunch. I hate to do that because we got such a good crew going here. But I do understand this is boring, boring, boring. Let's see, we need my triangle polywog. Where the hell did I put it? Boring, boring, boring. There it is. So we got the triangle polywog. I got a spot in here in the fillet that needs to get got. Of course, it's outboard side on the top for God and everyone to see. If you don't get it out, they'll go, hey, what are you going to do about that? Nothing. Too late. And it's going to take another coat of primer. What I'll do when I get this next coat of primer, I will take the camera off the stand here, and I'll give a super close-up of how it should and shouldn't look. Because I'm sure that I'm going to have spots that will look like it's supposed to, and I'm also sure, beyond a shadow of a doubt, I'm going to have spots that are not going to look like it's supposed to. And I'll have to work on those until they look right. There's a spot there I'm feeling. And if you can feel it, you can damn sure see it. Got it. And I can feel it right there, and it might take some more, 2 or 3 coats. It might take a miracle. Difficult takes a while, the impossible takes a little longer. Or as I used to tell them at work, I can do one thing per day at a time, and today ain't your day. Yeah, that'll go away. Better CA it down though. That'll be hidden under superfill. Yeah, 1, 2, maybe 2 more coats to get it perfect. Okay, let's wipe it down. See all that primer I'm pulling up? Even though the primer has xylene in it, the xylene is not hot enough to melt dust. So you got to get the dust off of it. I don't know how John knew me that well that I couldn't live with that, but I couldn't live with that. No way. Ah, damn. Bumping my other airplane. Let's see. We got a spot here. What is that? Yeah, we got a spot. We got a spot. Yeah, 2 hours and 30 minutes. Okay, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break for lunch. I'm going to eat a sandwich, and I'll be back after lunch. No. Aerogloss dope takes a special thinner. I think maybe you could thin it with MEK, but I'm not sure. It's a special thinner. I got 2 quarts of the stuff. I love it. It's good stuff. But I can't find thinner for it. Here's what you do. Take some Aerogloss dope. Start mixing it with some chemicals. Tell me what doesn't curdle it, and let me know. And then I'm not real sure about the adhesion after you thin it with some oddball thinner. Okay, guys, time for me to make a turkey and Swiss sandwich. Thanks for watching. I'll be back in about an hour. Keep sanding. See ya.